What's going on, everybody? This is Jordan with Conquer Trading and Investing, getting ready here for our live session. I have to say this morning I'm very, very excited to be here with y'all. Looking forward to crushing it this session. Let's make sure it's a good one. All right, what's going on in front of us? We're going to start with the equity markets. We're going to jump right in. Yes, I got some cold brew matcha going today. I'm excited about that. We're going to get into the DXY. We're going to get into everything. We're going to do as we always do. We're going to start here with the S&P 500. After that, we'll look at the Nasdaq. We're going to look at the Dow today because it's important, and then we'll jump into the DXY, gold, silver, Bitcoin, and then we'll have a look at FX. That's good, Tom. I'm glad we got the better sound today. I feel a little bit more comfortable today. I'm ready and looking for a good session over here. Before I get started, just let me be very clear. All right, just for anyone, trading is absolutely, first of all, extraordinarily difficult. It is extraordinarily complex. You get to decide which variables you're going to use. These variables tend to conflict with each other. Now, that could be whether or not you're using oscillators, fib retracements, moving averages. They could, whether or not you're using multiple time frames. You have unlimited options, and the worst part about it is you could jump into trading with no experience and get to make the decisions you want. Why is that the worst? Because no one can tell you what you can and cannot do. Now, the genius here is taking something so complex and simplifying it down. The most important indicator there is price. We follow price, and we follow it around the market structure of support and resistance with the help of trend lines and chart patterns. If you start there, you're automatically going to all of a sudden start seeing the market a lot clearer. All right, let's check it out. The S&P 500. This is trading perfectly technical here this morning. Let's take a look at it together. Let me go ahead and boom, bam, here we go. All right, I'm going to see over here when I say perfectly technical, look what happened. We came and bounced off this resistance overnight. What resistance is that? Very simply, I'm zooming out over here. This is our prime trend line. And by the way, this was drawn in months ago. And here you go. You can see overnight that it bounced off as resistance, exactly as we were looking for. It's exactly what we were looking for. Now it's coming back into this area of support. That's a retest. After breaking out yesterday above that resistance, came into the first resistance, right? And now is retesting this horizontal 33, 39, huge level, and see if it holds as support. We have the presidential debate tonight. Now, some people differ whether or not they think it's important. I think it's really important. I think it's really important because Elon Musk was on a podcast yesterday, and he said, who are you voting for? And he's like, well, I don't know. I want to see what happens in the debate. He's like, I want to see whether or not, Vice President Biden is all there or not, And I think he's not the only one. There's a lot of people looking forward to this debate. And I think that it has the potential to change a lot of things. Supposedly, the market's positioned right now, right, that we have Vice President Biden, who's ahead in a lot of swing states, supposedly. If you remember what happened in 2016, going into the election, I didn't think that was the case. It wasn't the case. How is the market react? The market would react much more favorably. Listen, we don't care about politics. Anyone who's if you're involved in politics, step away from it. That stuff is poison. We don't care about politics. We care about the market. All right, and there's no political positioning here inside from me or from the or from in the chat when it comes to politics. But let me tell you, the market is going to be way more favorable to a Trump presidency than it would to a Biden presidency. Why? Well, the market really doesn't like regulation and taxes. It's plain and simple. All right, let's keep going over here. So why am I saying that? Because that's happening tonight. It's a big deal, right? If, for example, one side or the other crushes it, and it could go either way. It's a debate. Depending on who crushes it, the market could have a big reaction tomorrow. Now, I'm following the technicals, right? And I see that this support over here is holding. A resumption off, and especially during New York today, if we were able to make a higher high during New York today, that's a trade that I would like. I love, and we don't have a name for it, but I love when you're at resistance, you get a down price bar and then immediately take over and out that resistance. It's a powerful move. Watch out for it. Now, do I think that's going to happen? No, I don't think that's going to happen, but it could. I'm prepared for it. What I think what the best case scenario is that we continue to hold either the support or that trend line, and a resumption off sets up a long entry. Only looking for long entries right now. Why? This is big resistance over here. Why are you not looking to sell? Well, because this breakout over here of this descending wedge, you can see it clear as day, is a bullish pattern over here. We've broken out to the upside. Now after the breakout, we're looking for the retrace. Now, will the retrace be this small? Well, if it is, then I expect a bigger move to the upside. Is it possible that we come down and retest even into this trend line over here where I have marked out a little bit deeper for you? Yep, that's entirely possible. Is it possible that we come all the way down and touch the horizontal support at 32.76? Yes, all those things are possible, and all those things will be healthy to have a resumption off. We're getting close here, setting up another entry on the S&P 500. All right, so now's the time to watch. All right, what's next on the Nasdaq? Let's take a look over here. Let's keep it. Again, I'm not gonna. Anyway, you guys are adults. I think you guys could figure it out over here. So let's just back off and focus in on the markets. All right. All right, let's look over here, and looking at the Nasdaq over here right now, I see again we came right. Like these lines weren't drawn today; these lines were already in here. You see that this horizontal, this not horizontal because it's got a slope down over it. This resistance of this channel over here, the top upper resistance of the channel, held as resistance and has since backed down. And you can see over here, if I make it darker, do I need to? I don't know how clear the screen is. People say it's a little bit more clearer with this type of resolution on the laptop. When I get home, I'll try to change the resolution of my desktop. Look at that line over there. You can see that we've hit the resistance, have come back down into it, right? Same exact thing that we just looked at on the S&P 500. If you take out during this session over here, and I think that the possibility of that occurring are greater than on the S&P today. If you come out and take out that high over here, the high, this is going to be the London right over here. if you take it out over here and take out the resistance at the same time, that's a beautiful long entry over there. I would do it with a pretty tight stop over here. Now, what else is happening over here? Is it possible that we pull back all the way into the horizontal support just under us right now at 11,280? And then you could see that sloping trend line over here a little bit lower. Yep. All those would be very, very, very healthy. Right where my mouse is right now at 11,225, you could also see horizontal support if you follow my mouse to the left, right? So it's in this area between 11,280 and all the way down to the trend line. There's pretty strong support in that area. A resumption off there, that's a lovely entry, a tasty one. I would love it. If we lose this trend line over here, at that point, when we don't become bearish, but we become cautious, actually we're in dead center no man's land, and I would be dead center neutral. Right now, definitely leaning to the buy side with a bullish nature over here. And if we lost this trend line over here, that would make me become neutral, waiting then either for another test of the upper resistance or the lower support over there. All right, so the markets are finally offering some pretty good clarity over here. I like that. What's going on with the Dow? All right, you can see over here the Dow still holding the horizontal support over here that it broke out yesterday. That's coming in at 27,440, bullish, right? Resumption off here, super bullish after breaking out over here of the channel over here to the upside. Come back down for the retest. Now, how low could that retest go? Well, let me tell you, some people might not think that. Let me just show you first that this channel is so accurate. First of all, for me, it works perfect. It's just a rough sketch. Now, but if you go over here and you line up over here, like the top, right? And you can say, oh, it hit the peak over there. It's the same exact thing. You still have the breakout. You still have the retest right over there. I'm not so anal. How do I say it? I'll put it like that. Right? Same thing on the downside over here. It's fine. It works exactly what I'm looking for it to do. I went off the resistance over here. You could see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bars all showing the resistance. I used the lower after we came down over here, the lower touch over there. That's why I have it over there, and I stick with it. All right, what else is going on over here? So they all look good over here. I think the Nasdaq actually does look the best. But I like that all three indexes are starting to regain their bullish structure. Huge risk event tonight. Let's see how this plays out over here. Let's take a look at the DXY now. We can see the DXY. Okay, so we again go back to last Friday. The DXY is trading all the way over here at 94.70, and we said, well, I think I would not be surprised to see a pullback to 94. We've had a pullback all the way to 94 since, so that's not a surprise. Right? And yesterday we said, look, it doesn't have to stop at 94 exactly. If we peak down below it, we have this trend line resistance right over there. Excuse me, support. This was all resistance. So now after it broke, it should be support. So the dollar right here during this session, pretty important. Why pretty important? Because if it holds off here and resumes off, this was a successful breakout and retest on the DXY, and then we're looking next to go ahead and challenge the last swing high over here and or break them. I'm targeting 95.20. If we lose this trend line over here, and if we lose it this session, right, then we have one last bit of support over here at 93.55. I'm calling out the levels because you trade around the levels, right? It's all about risk and trade management around the levels. Now, if we if we come back down, it's not all of a sudden a failed breakout over here because we have horizontal support over here, and it's a pretty good one at 93.55. If we lose that, then I think the odds that this is a failed breakout is extraordinarily high. I mean, over 70%, which is pretty high for me. So the dollar right now, maintaining its counter trend breakout over here, coming in and testing support. We're looking to see whether or not it holds this important area right over here, or if it fails. A lot of people are looking for month-end dollar flows. Listen, if a bank like Citibank puts out a report and they're telling you that they expect dollar inflows towards the end of the month, do you think that that's for your benefit? Like, do you think Citibank is doing this research and then publishing it a place where you'll read it for your benefit because, like, they're good guys? Come on. listen, don't worry about whatever any type of investment bank is saying. Understand if you're reading a report they sent out, it's for a purpose and it's probably not for your benefit because they trade against their paid clients and you're not even a paid client. Watch what's going on the charts and trade off the charts. Be your own bank, right? What I mean by that is do your own research, come to and form your own opinions. Relying on someone else's like that is going to get you nowhere. Roman, on the DXY, my chart has the recent peak at 94. That's all right. What do I got mine at? 93, 98. Is that what you're saying? Ready, steady. I'm ignoring them completely because this is an important hour we got here. We have a training session at 10:15. So we're gonna, only have 1 hour. So I'm not focused on the spammers at all. If by the way, you should be able to tell who a spammer is and who is a spammer. By the way, I will never, ever, ever, ever email you, especially from a Gmail account, but not even from my own domains. Offering you an investment opportunity. You have to be able. It's 2020. You have to know what spam is and how to protect yourself and what phishing is, right? Don't click on links unless you recognize the link and you know who sent it to you. I will never send you an email telling you to invest into something, from conquertradinginvesting@gmail.com. I will never reply to you in the comments of a YouTube video and say, this is an investment opportunity. Here's my WhatsApp number. If I'm going to be communicating to you, it's going to be through a video. All right? It's going to be video. It's going to be loud and clear. Please protect yourself. All right, what else is going on over there? Let me check in with gold. By the way, keep in mind over here, keep in mind what's happening right here on the DXY because it's the exact inverse that's happening on gold, okay? Keep in mind over here the breakout and now the retest into support here. This is going to be a breakdown and a retest into resistance. It's the same exact thing. Thanks, Kips. I'm glad I saw that comment. It's the second comment I saw all day. I'm glad I got to see that. And it's true. All right, let's go back over here. Thanks, Shane. Everyone, please, if you're here this morning, if you enjoy being here, go ahead and smash that like button. It does help support the channel, and I do appreciate that. Jason, I'm focused in on the analysis. I'm not able to focus in on the comments today. So here we go. We got gold and silver. First starting with gold over here, and I said look at the DXY. It is a dollar story. You could see it clear as day, and you could see over here that it was the breakout on the DXY and the retest of support. Here it's the breakdown of the dollar, and now with a retest of resistance, right? A rejection here, and by the way, you could just see the perfect touch, right? The perfect touch. Let's see if we resume down. We're expecting gold to, like I said on the DXY, go ahead and test that swing high. This will test that swing low. A resumption down has us targeting then the bigger move, the 1800 area of support. Now, is it possible the dollar, just like we talked about the DXY, right? Is it possible the dollar is able to regain this important trend line? That would be a great thing if gold was able to regain this trend line over here. Most likely, it runs and stops at that resistance here at 1904, and then probably you get a pullback, and then we either fail or resume up. If we get above 1904, the bullish structure has returned on gold. Okay, the bullish structure technically has returned. We're looking at the fundamentals and we're looking at the technicals. When you're able to trade around both, that's when you really have the most momentum on your side. Swim with the current. Don't swim against the current. All right, so gold and at an inflection point. Silver hasn't yet rebounded as well as gold. And what do I mean by that? I mean, it has over here the 2450. This is the important level on silver, 2450. All right, that will coincide with the horizontal resistance I have over there, as well as with that trend line. So again, you see gold doing the work, and that's the way it always is. Gold does the hard work, and once you get things looking well, silver plays catch up and outperforms. All right, so not much to say there on silver. Let's look over here and drop down and see what's happening after a really nice day yesterday on copper, palladium, and platinum. Here you go over here. So this is copper, rejected now, by the way, rejected by the $3 all important. That was, excuse me, stuttering there for a second. That was support, but this is resistance after we broke it, right? So interesting that breakdown, held the support, bounce into resistance, and that resistance is holding. It's the line in the sand, plain and simple. Above 3, this is starting to look really good again. Below, not so much. By the way, a Biden victory would really send off the metals. It would really send off copper. Talking about some big infrastructure projects. I think that would have the potential to really send metals soaring. Not only that, of course, they would be passing the 2.3, not the 2.2, the plan they floated yesterday, to $2.3 trillion stimulus package. And then as well, they would have Biden's, as well as his infrastructure spending. It would be massive, massive spending. Now, is there any case when we look at, and there's no stimulus coming, right? What would happen if the Republicans had a clean sweep, right? Of both the Senate, both the House, and the presidency. At that point, what would stimulus look like? I have a feeling it would be kind of on the lower end, probably closer to somewhere around $500 billion. However, I really believe if Trump is elected for a second term, he is going in that second term to really be looking to reach across the aisle and get some infrastructure done for the U.S. My thoughts, not politics. So where are we on copper? Not much. Kind of neutral over here. Kind of neutral in no man's land right now. Let's wait for a breakdown or a breakout to get a better read. Let's take a look over here at palladium. Looking a lot better over here. You can see it's just into some local resistance. Not a big deal. You can see very nicely. It's looking a lot better. I don't have a clear read on it. When I don't have a clear read on something, I just step aside. And again, also, platinum. Beautiful day. 4% yesterday. 4%. By the way, again, we talked about that yesterday. If you just take this lower channel over here, this support, and clone it, it fits perfectly right over there. It should be there. I'm not interested in putting it in right now. We're looking here, and the best technical setup you could get would be a pullback and a test of this support down over here at $860 and a resumption off. That would be a screaming buy. A screaming buy. All right, what else we got? Let's move over into FX right now. Markets are getting ready to open 5 minutes. I just want to check out currently. They're kind of where they've been for the last hour or so. Maybe even the Nasdaq at its lows. The dollar also right at its lows of the day also. All right. Go back, if you're interested in what strategy we use, go back to the opening minute of the live stream over here where I talked about exactly what that is. This is a winning strategy. Gabriel, good morning. All right, so let's take a look over here. What's going on in FX over here, starting with the euro US dollar. Euro US dollar. All right, so I'm just trying to get a good read on it. You got it. Absolutely. Thanks for being here this morning. We skipped Bitcoin. We're going to go Bitcoin before we get into FX for sure. All right. Bitcoin came under pressure yesterday. As soon as Asia opened, it dumped. Like, let's see, from 10,900 down about, not so bad. I mean, the Bitcoin dumps used to be big and fierce, but it did dump. So here, look at that on a lower time frame over here. Let me show you what a 15-minute chart looks like. And you can see this dump right there, right? But that was all they could do. And you could see the 10,570 support. It held even above it. We didn't even get into the support. And so far, we're rising again. Look, the only level you need to be worried about here on Bitcoin is 2 levels. It's the 10,570 support, right? Which is currently holding. And also, all you need to do, see this prime trend line I have over here? This is an important level. I don't know why it's not on my chart. Let me go ahead and add it on the chart. This prime trend line I have over here, everyone's familiar with it that's following the channel because we've looked at it. We've looked at it since before the March crisis. That line over here, you can see these clones over here. I'm going to clone this line right here right now. Watch what I'm doing. This is an important level for anyone following Bitcoin right now to be watching. Hold on one second. All right, there we go. Now I'm going to come back down to the 8-hour. By the way, do you see the touch over here? You can see it on the 3-day. You can see that was all resistance, and that's what the market's focused in on right now. Come down with me right now to the 8-hour, and there you go. That's what you want to watch over here. It's not only the 10,570 support, which is definitely an important level and has been ever since the beginning of September when that held as resistance, again resistance, and then support. But this trend line over here, that we held during the dump, and then we had a higher swing low over here, that's an important one. And as long as you stay above it, it's darn bullish. That's all I could say. Now, we are about to enter into October. October and November are the two most seasonally bullish months for Bitcoin. And, I'm targeting at the end of the year somewhere around 18,000. If you look at their historical gains, it's about, I believe October is 30% and November is 60%. Let's see. I think we're on pace. I'm interested in also looking at Tesla this morning, so we'll just give a quick read Harvard here. I mean, Amazon is pretty simple. Go back to last week when we were talking about that support over there. Not only trading above it, retested it, resuming out. I mean, it looks healthy, as do the markets. What about Tesla? All right, Tesla into that. Let me zoom in. Just let me get a clear look because I'm having trouble seeing that chart right there. All right, Tesla, you could see, by the way, and see this clearly. Look, this is what had a move into the resistance, and a rejection place to sell. Look over there. Tesla is being rejected by there so far this morning. That's an entry right there on Tesla. Tight stop loss right above this trend line, or better. If you break above this upper trend line over here, at that point, I would think that you're going long again on Tesla. So your risk to reward here is pretty solid. Your risk to reward is pretty solid right here on the downside, right? Now, what happens if the market here, market's starting to look bullish? What happens if it, rising tide lifts some boats and Tesla becomes bid? Again, a break above this trend line to the upside. It's not far away from where we are right now. We're trading right now at 415, and we're talking right around 441. At that point, you have to flip long. Not often that I'm saying. Often it's very clear. You're only looking for sell side. You're only looking for long side. Tesla right here as it entered this consolidation pattern. Let me see if I could just lift that up. Boom. So as it entered this whole consolidation pattern over here, right, we said, all right, now if it breaks down, that enters a short, or breaks out, it enters a long. It broke down. It now is being rejected by there. But, however, I'm still, and again, it's not often you see me say that, but if we break out above that trend line, I think it's a good place to be long on Tesla. All right, what else is going on? Let's see what else is going on over here. Markets are opening right now. We're going to move in. We're going to take a look at what's going on the currency markets over here, starting with the euro, US dollar. Important session. Yeah, we'll check out the US dollar, Swiss franc for sure. Important session right here. Tuesday morning session is always one of the most important sessions for finding out what's set up going in to Wednesday London session. All right. So here we go. It's getting hot and humid over here. All right, Euro US dollar, let's check it out over here. And we are rising above this blue line over here. That's the 12-year trend line over here. Rising above it. Yesterday, I have this little cheat sheet over here because we're looking to see if we come into this resistance, right? That resistance over there is big resistance at 1.17668. Above it, Euro has clawed back from the grave, right? and we've become bullish for sure. Right now, I'm expecting a rejection into that resistance if we get anywhere close to it. And then we're going to see whether or not this important line over here, this trend line over here, and whether or not it holds as support. That would give an entry. Above this resistance over here would offer an entry. And then if this fails and we trade back down, getting below that last swing low, that opens up probably a strong move to the downside. Yeah, I mean, Andre, I just gave a very clear look at what I feel is the best way to trade Tesla. I stand by that for sure. Australian dollar, US dollar. We have the Australian dollar is the strongest currency going on the session over here, but you could see very clearly all we have is a pullback into strong resistance. This trend line resistance over here, horizontal resistance. This is a flag that I'm interested in looking at later to see if there's a possible trade over here. And it's going to be to the short side if we're rejected over here and start making lower lows in London. Now, if the Australian dollar, US dollar is able to regain this trend line, right? Is that a good look over there that I have at that support line coming in at 0.718? Because now is the time for me to really get a clear look at it. Yeah, I think it's a good look. Above that resistance over there, quickly again, that brings us opening to looking for long trades. We're at a place in the market where it's not very clear, where we're seeing possible long-term trend changes. This is the most difficult environment for this strategy. This is a swing trading strategy. We're looking to take trades, right? That right in front of us, looking to push them as far as possible, but as we're looking for the sweet spot of the trend, when the trend is clear. Right now, we're at an inflection point across all assets. You could see on the equity markets, we started going last week, both long and short, whichever one offered the opportunity. We were open to both. That's changed. We're back only towards the long side right now. Could that change right here on the currencies? Yes, it could, but right now they're at an inflection point. So I'm looking at both sides over here. Let me go ahead and get rid of this dude. Yeah, I'll look at that Rex. We'll take a look at the pound New Zealand dollar for sure over here. But I wish you guys could just delete the spammers for me. All right, as that loads, I'll come back to it. I want to keep going with the analysts. We got about another half hour over here. I want to focus in on it. Yeah, I repeat. So I'm doing this analysis for myself primarily, and I repeat things because that's what ingrains them into my mind. So, if you don't feel that's important, well, ignore it and focus in on what's important. By the way, you're here to take away what you can to benefit yourself. But I need to repeat things in order for them to kind of be ingrained in me and stick. I guess, once you find a winning formula, you stick with it. So I'm just going to do whatever it takes, whatever I need to do to keep making money. That's all. There we go. Just bear with me 1 second. I just want to delete. All right. All right, there we go. Back to it all. So Australian dollar, US dollar, that's set up pretty beautifully. Euro, US dollar, I'm more watching. All right, there was a Rex one before I forget. That's right, Roman. I'm trying to imprint it in my DNA. I get it. You get it. We wanted to look at the US dollar, Swiss franc. That was one of the first things asked. And then, Rex, I'm going to ask you afterwards to repeat what the pair you're looking at. Patrick hit the like before leading. I don't even know what's going on with Patrick. That's all good. I'm focused on over here. Let me pull up the US dollar, Swiss franc. Let's see what's going on, and we'll keep going. Yeah, Dr. Loco, I agree with that. Again, I am considering we're a little stuck here. Bear with me. We'd like it to repeat anyway. I guess I'll catch up with comments here for 1 second. All right? There we go. US dollar, Swiss franc loading. Thanks for your patience. I'm not letting it bother me today. It is what it is. We'll get through it, and then we'll be back next week. All right. US dollar, Swiss franc. It's still not loading for me. Bear with me, peeps. Yeah, JC, you'll make this morning's live stream, and if not, you'll have also the replay as well. All right, U.S. dollar, Swiss franc, and I don't know what happened here. It doesn't really matter. We're not going to let it get to us, right? The U.S. dollar, Swiss franc. I'm looking over here. I'm looking at simply not much at all. It looks exactly like the DXY, right? I see almost with clarity. It's just the DXY. What I gave the analysis on the DXY, it stands exactly right here, right now for the U.S. dollar, Swiss franc. It's nothing more than that retest back into 94. All right, let's keep going. Oh, one sub, man, brilliant. You're a genius over here. I should start invest in some better Wi-Fi. So the thing is right now, one sub. My kids, they're at a resort and they're going to go swim with some dolphins this morning, and while they're eating breakfast, I'm out here outside with the Wi-Fi. But I appreciate your man. I don't know what I would do without you, one sub. Go sub somewhere else. All right. Freaking genius. Pound, Japanese yen. Let's take a look. All right, let me see if I move inside and bring us some better connection. No. Thank you, Andrew. These people. Ah, man, I had them come in here. I said these people, I had them come in here 3 different times yesterday. They went ahead and they took off the limits for the internet for me to give me a decent connection. It's working, but I guess everyone's waking up right now. And everyone's using the internet, maybe taking a drag on it. Yeah, I know, Chai. I know, totally. I was more distracted with not having the internet connection. But here we go. All right. It's okay, Vassal. You know why? Like, you can see the difference today. I'm not focused in. I'm focused in on the analysis. That's what's important. And, going forward, it'll just be like completely like not even say a word, just completely banned. We'll focus in on what we need to focus on over here. All right, we're good to go. All right. There we go. All right, let's focus in over now. Let me blow through XX over here. We got about another good 25 minutes here. I want to make a count. So I'm going to go in order, but we wanted to start with the pound, Japanese yen. We'll look at that right now. JC, we can't even get infinitum. All right. Pound Japanese yen, you could see that we were looking at the same thing yesterday. We were looking at this coming into a bit of resistance over there. By the way, do you see these peaks over here, these wicks above touching that resistance, focusing on over here in those bars? But do you see the market now is paying attention to the bodies of these candles? Not only that, you see it over there. I'm going to move down that resistance level over there because it's where the market's paying attention. And the reason being because if we break above that, we're almost at the dead center over here of this move, 50%. If we break above it, I'll be looking for longs. Right now, though, that's a good place to be looking for further rejection and a short here on the pound Japanese yen. However, I don't like it at all. I don't like it because of what's going on right now with the negotiations between the UK and the EU. That's coming to, that could come to a very heated point within the next couple of weeks because the time limit that the UK has given the EU is the middle of October. So highly volatile. I know a lot of people think that they want to trade with volatility. You want to trade with clarity. All right, so careful about that over there. All right, what else? Let's keep going. Let me blow through some of these in order. But as the markets have been open 10 minutes, I just want to check in right now. I see the Nasdaq now down 0.5%. We all have our orders on there. The DXY has lost 94, and we're seeing silver leading the way on gold. You got it, Seb. Absolutely. Eric, the pound right now is too newsy. Not looking for that, right? We took a look at Tesla a little while ago. You can pull back on the live stream. We're going to be looking at FX right now. Let me start here going in order. Let me look at the US dollar, Japanese yen, and get a good read over here this morning. Okay, US dollar, Japanese yen is very clear. It's forming right now this descending triangle, and it's caught up in an area right now of consolidation. Just stand aside and wait. This could actually now lead to a place where you're going either to the downside if we lose that support over there at 105.20, or above it if we break above. But that for me will not just be a break here unless that happened to further down into consolidation. But right now, if we were to break out, it would be above 106.14. All right, let's see what happens. You see the pressure on the dollar this morning, yet the dollar is stronger than the yen. What does that tell you? When you have the dollar's weak, but it's stronger than the yen, Australian dollar is the strongest currency today, it tells me the markets right now are leaning risk on, right? It's a very clear signal. This is TradingView. Rex, you know the drill. Only 3 trades per week. Make them good. Make sure you're picking your trade. It's not a question of finding a setup. It's easy to find a setup. It's a question of discerning when is the right time to trade and what is the best setup. All right, let's go over here. Pound US dollar. It is, again, this is a pound pair. I wanted to look at all the majors though, and it's kind of just simply in no man's land. Nothing else to say. Do you see a channel developing over here? Do you see these 2 points? Do you see it above? I see it. Let's draw it in just so we can continue monitoring what happens. All right, so I'm going to draw in this channel right here. And then I'm going to clone that, watch what happens. And then there's the upper that we're focused in on. All right, that's a pretty good pattern. So I'm going to focus in on there. I like breakouts a lot of channels. No sugar in the coffee whatsoever. Nice going, Rex. Nice profitable trade, Rex. I want to know what that was later. All right, let's keep going over here. New Zealand dollar, US dollar. New Zealand dollar with the risk on is bid today. Look at this. This is resistance. I have it marked as green. That should be red. And the reason I say that is because getting above here, that opens up some beautiful trades on the New Zealand dollar, US dollar. That would mean the dollar's breaking down. Could happen, right? We're getting close to an inflection point on that. And then we're returning to risk on. Could happen, especially after tonight's debate. I'm going to not highlight this one because it's not a trade I'd be taking overnight, but it may be tomorrow. What about the New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen? Okay, this is into resistance right over here as well. Again, same thing I just said. Get above that, it looks good. Do you play a rejection over here of this? You can. You can play a rejection of this resistance here right now to the downside. I'm just going to avoid it altogether. I don't really like it. What else is going on? I want to see the Australian dollar, Japanese yen. Okay, this is setting up actually something to really look at overnight over here. This could be setting up by tomorrow. If this is rejected right over here by that horizontal resistance and that trend line, that's a good looking short for me. Notice how the equity markets, which are highly correlated to the Australian dollar, Japanese yen, have almost fully regained their bullish structure. Not completely yet. We're all aware of that. And FX is lagging behind right now. This is an interesting play. I like this one. I would be looking, just to give you a heads up, tonight. So far I have 2 flagged. I haven't really gone through too many. I would look at the Australian dollar, US dollar, and I would look at the Australian dollar, Japanese yen, and I would say to myself, which of these looks like a better trade and a better setup? And I have to say, they look almost identical right now. I don't really have an edge. I like both of them, and I'll see what else is available. So Euro Australian. By the way, let me chime in over there. So when we talk about so I've been saying last week, I feel like everyone is really bearish on the markets. You had a couple of people, probably bears, who are like, what are you talking about? Everyone's bullish. But then I showed in yesterday's video, no, that actually the positioning was definitely net speculative all-time record short on the Nasdaq, right? Like I said, I feel like everyone is too bearish on the markets. Same thing with Bitcoin. You have a select few who are entirely bullish, right? But the majority of people out there are completely bearish at Bitcoin. You still have people thinking we're going back down to 6,000. You have people thinking that this halving is not going to play out as the first two. In my mind, the majority of the population is extraordinarily bearish and or don't even understand Bitcoin. And then you have those that understand Bitcoin and follow Bitcoin, and then you have all sorts of different predictions. You have Bitcoin developers who their prediction during the bull market ranges anywhere from 50,000 up to 280,000. They're all over the place. I don't think that you could say that people are bullish on Bitcoin or overly bullish. In my mind, is the exact opposite. And people are going to be buying in at way higher prices. All right, let's keep going over there. Yeah, from the same people. Be careful about Twitter. Be careful about the internet when you have this echo chamber of people and you're only here. So first of all, like if you're listening to people who talk about Bitcoin, it's a select few, right? And for a lot of people are talking about 100K because they understand the halving cycle. They understand the past two halving cycles. They understand supply and demand. They understand what happens. And by the way, Bitcoin addresses continue to peak at all-time highs. Hash rate all-time highs, and then you have the supply cut in half, right? Anyway, what else are we looking at over here? Boom, boom, boom. Euro, Australian dollar. We were watching this into the resistance yesterday. You could see the rejection, but look at this and watch this as we come down into this area of support over here. Is this a buy off of this support? Look, the way I look at the Euro, Australian dollar is that this is super sideways going on now for months. Between the resistance and the support. I avoid this, and above here I would be looking to buy because that's a huge consolidation and then a breakout of consolidation. The longer the base, right, the bigger the move. Now, right here though, from this midpoint, it's no man's land for me. I want to get involved in a trade that has the possibility of pushing multiple support or resistance levels. I'm looking to push my winning trades. I don't want to get caught up in something that is just going sideways. There's nothing there for me. All right. There, let's take a look. Let's move in. The DXY is breaking support. Let's take a look at it right now. Right, you can see the DXY is coming in right now and testing that trend line. That's the support down over there. You have the horizontal line at 94. Only 1-2 slight touches over there. Then again over here, a break below here right now, a break below where price is trading right now, this support over here, that should send us down towards the all-important 93.55, and then we'll see what happens whether or not we break or hold. So interesting on the DXY. I maintain a couple of things. This, and I say this, these past 2-3 weeks, the current situation right now is the most difficult time of this whole year. Going back also, April was also this difficult into May. The end of April, beginning of May. That was the hardest portion all year to trade. This is the second hardest. The rest of the year was actually as easy as could be. A fantastic year. Some amazing trades all year. This right now is, and I maintain, one of the hardest points of all year. I think, for my own personal opinion, the way I've navigated price ever since right over here, the first week of August on the DXY, and how I've navigated everything is some of my best work all year. And if you look at the moves that we've been on top of and our analysis, that's saying a lot because this has been the most difficult. This has been the most difficult. It remains that. All right. By the way, let's take a quick look over here on the S&P. Okay. Again, We have this support level and this support level over here highlighted for you. A resumption off of either one of those, incredibly bullish. Nasdaq, same thing, rejected by the resistance. You can see it's coming to this resistance, right? Everyone has a clear look at all of those. The Dow is basically the same thing. Let's see, I want to see what gold is doing as the DXY is more or less breaking down. It's still hold up also on that trend line, and Bitcoin hasn't really moved. Nothing's really moved. Thanks, ML. Appreciate it. By the way, if you're happy to be here, listen, for sure we don't have our normal setup, right? We don't have the same mic. We don't have the same ease of use. But if you're happy to be here and you appreciate, right, taking the time in the morning here with you, even while away, go ahead and smash that like button. Show a little bit of love, right? I'm happy to be here doing this with you. What else is going on? Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Boom, boom, boom. Let's all take a look over here. What else do we want to look at? Euro, Japanese yen. I want to see what's going on for sure. Seeing that weak Japanese yen today. Look at this, by the way. This is setting up something pretty nice. Why do I say that? We see the euro, right? Let me come back to the euro before we look at the euro, Japanese yen. We see the euro here. It's going to be coming into some resistance right over there, right? Initially, we're looking for that rejection until it breaks above there, right? In order to get bullish on the euro again, we got to take out that resistance or a successful test of this trend line over here. So as the euro is coming into this important area of resistance, look at the euro Japanese yen, right? It is also coming up towards an area of resistance. Now, is this horizontal resistance in a good place? I think it's perfect. You see the perfect touch there, the perfect touch there, the perfect touch here, 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 and then again here. There's nothing to move, right? I'm going to keep it exactly where it is. Is there, right where I am right now, look at my mouse, is there also a bit of lighter resistance? 100%. You can see this is where the body closed. You can see it right over there, this little channel. You can see that was a little bit of resistance, and then we peaked down over to there, right? So if this is where we peak out over here, I know I'm keeping the resistance over here. I like keeping my chart simple and nice. I understand that if I'm rejected right over here, which is in some light local resistance, right? I'll draw it in light for you. I'll just keep it a little bit lighter. That's a place I'm looking for a short over here, right? So let me go, just make that light. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight that one as well, right? Few different, a lot going on over here. Now, for the euro, Japanese yen, by the way, just as we looked at the euro US dollar, and I said, in order for this to become where I would be looking to buy again, right, one or two things happen. We get above this resistance over here, or get rejected here and test and hold that trend line over there. Same thing on the euro Japanese yen. The only way I get bullish where I'm looking to buy this right now is trading back above that resistance line over here at 124, right? 124.30, excuse me. So right now I'm looking for a rejection, and that looks like it would set up a nice little bit of a sell over there. We have big resistance on silver at 24.50. 24.50 is the big resistance on silver. You can see it right over there. 24.50 is horizontal resistance. It also happens to be this trend line resistance, right? You can see that trend line over there. And that is the big area that once you get above on silver, we could be looking for buys again. All right, what else are we looking at over here this morning? Yep, let's also check them back in gold before we get off over here. Again, just like the DXY is testing that support right now, I'll show you that in 1 second. Right now we have gold testing resistance. Now, I'm looking here technically for a rejection over here, and then back below this line of well, it's resistance until it closes above it. This line of 1880, that would set up a sell, only I'm not taking the sell. Why am I not taking the sell? Because I think even though technically here they've gone from bullish structure to all of a sudden bearish, until they regain the 1904, I'm not looking for longs, but I will not sell them. I'd rather buy back lower off of support right? It's too risky, I believe, selling the metals. Nevertheless, that's exactly what I'm looking for, that rejection over there. Look at the DXY. It's the same exact thing. You could see it as the DXY. As the gold is pulled back into that trend line, here the DXY now is right testing this last area of support. All right? So everything's trading in pretty good symmetry. Pretty good symmetry. Right? Yeah, by the way, that's right, Briball. Yeah, Bitcoin's been covered, but listen, it's just so you know, because it's really a big benefit. We start off every live stream by looking at the S&P 500, right? You can pull back on the red streamer thing to go ahead and see. And then we look at the Nasdaq, followed by the Dow, the DXY, right? And then we look at gold, silver, we look at some other precious metals, and then we look at Bitcoin, right? So if you pull back on the live stream, you're always going to get the best analysis on any of those by watching as it's first done and first presented. Because if I go back now over Bitcoin after having only done it an hour ago, and I just give you a quick look at it, it's not going to be with the same freshness, let's say. That's right. Kips is a very important point. Gold is not always inverse to the US dollar. It is trading absolutely inverse to it right now. I've pointed out to you all so many times, if you go back into the middle of December of last year, January 2020, February 2020, the dollar was so strong. It was the strongest currency there was, except for what? Gold was stronger. And why the dollar went from 96 to 100, gold was outperforming the dollar. They're not always inversely correlated. They are right now, however. They are trading in perfect symmetry right now. So pay attention to whatever the market's paying attention to until it's not anymore. That's really what you need to look at. That's all perspective, Mark. Perspective. That's why we follow it from the technical point of view. Because if you're looking, right, if you're looking to buy the precious metals, right, you could buy it safer above 1904 if we are able to regain back this technical bullishness on the technicals. However, right now is not a safe place to buy because we're coming into resistance, trendline resistance and horizontal resistance. The market needs to prove itself a little bit more, right? So is the possibility that we get a pullback into 1800 or 1750 alive? Yeah, both those things could definitely happen, right? But if we break above back again the 1904 resistance, confirm that into support, then the odds are that we're going to see some further gains on gold. And by the way, at the same time, if that does occur, you then have a false breakdown over here, and you have a lot of people caught on the wrong side of the market. Listen, this is a phenomenal question. And do I predict that the dollar reacts strong to a Trump debate before? Listen, when it comes to all news events like this, I'm not so much concerned about what I think is going to happen and trying to predict what's going to happen. What's important to me is what happens. What happens? Does Biden win the debate? Does Trump win the debate? And then how the market reacts. That's going to be a potentially big clue to what happens as far as the result of the election. So rather than thinking, if Trump wins, does the dollar react strong? I prefer, which I don't think so. I prefer to think see which candidate wins, or if there was no win, if there was a draw, find out what happens, and then watch for how the market reacts. That's my strong clue. All right, that's my strong clue. All right, 740 likes. This is an enormous amount. I appreciate the support. I appreciate the love. Listen. Of course, this afternoon, I'll be updating everyone with a video. Yesterday's video was so strong. And, because we have a lot of trading left. This live stream on Tuesday is cut short only because we have a live training session right now with the Conquering the Markets group, which is going to be a good one. So if you're not able to be live for the live stream for the training session, watch the replay. This is a must, especially for anyone who's already not, hitting that consistently profitable. For anyone who's still struggling around break even or better, or even underperforming, this live session is for you. It's going to be a huge benefit. Aside from that, tomorrow, Wednesday, we'll have back to our normal live stream schedule, and we'll definitely be able to push it a much longer session. So let me go ahead and cue the music over here. Oh, we got to pull this back up over here. Hold on one second. What natural gas? Yeah, we'll look at it. We'll look at it. 1 second. I'll be happy to look at it. That's about every live stream you've asked. So listen, the best piece of advice I could give you by far is after you see a move like that, if you're not involved in that move, do never, ever chase it. It's very simple now. The next thing that you should be looking for, and that is for some type of consolidation, right? Never chase a move like that. Wait for some consolidation, and after it becomes clearer what pattern's developing, then you're looking for a resumption out of that consolidation if you're interested in buying natural gas. But right now, do not ever chase a move like this. Now wait for price to consolidate. Wait until it becomes clear, and then look for a resumption out of it.